Welcome back to Cleared for Takeoff. Last episode, we went deep on Dallas-Fort Worth, a market driven by corporate headquarters, energy, financial services, and one of the most dramatic business migration stories in modern American economic history. Today, we're going to Florida, specifically Orlando. And I want to start by dispelling a misconception because it's one that costs investors real money when they overlook markets for the wrong reasons. When people outside of Florida think about Orlando, they think about Disney World, Universal Studios, theme parks, tourism. And look, that's not wrong. Orlando's tourism industry is massive. The region attracts more than 75 million visitors annually. It's one of the most visited destinations on Earth. But if that's all you see, you're missing more than half the story. Because Orlando has quietly become one of the most important aerospace, defense, and technology hubs in the United States. And it's that diversified economic foundation that makes it such a compelling corporate aviation market. Let me give you the defense layer first, because it tends to surprise people. Lockheed Martin has major operations in Central Florida. So does L3Harris Technologies, which is actually headquartered in Melbourne, Florida, about an hour southeast of Orlando. Northrop, Grumman, Raytheon, SAIC, they all maintain significant presences in the region. The University of Central Florida, one of the largest universities in the country by enrollment, anchors a research and simulation technology ecosystem that has made Orlando the global center for modeling and simulation technology. The U.S. military runs substantial simulation and training programs out of the region. This is a serious economic infrastructure. Defense and aerospace companies that fly their executives, their program managers, and their government liaisons constantly. Every one of those flights lands at one of Orlando's corporate aviation airports, and that happens 365 days a year, regardless of what's happening at Disney World. Then you add the tourism layer on top, and what you get is actually a really interesting demand diversification story. The corporate jet operators serving the defense and technology sector are flying year-round on a business cycle that's tied to government contracts and research programs. The corporate jet operators observing the entertainment industry, the executives of Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, the major hotel groups, are flying on our tourism and hospitality cycle. Those two demand streams are not correlated with each other. Which defense contract activity is elevated, you have demand from that sector. When school holidays drive tourism peaks, you have demand from hospitality operators. The result is a relatively consistent multi-source demand profile that smooths out the kind of seasonal volatility you might otherwise worry about. Now let's talk about the airport infrastructure, because this is where the investment opportunity becomes very concrete. The Orlando market operates 4 primary business aviation airports. Orlando Executive Airport, known by its ICAO code, KORL, is the premier hub, located right between downtown Orlando and the major entertainment corridors operated by the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority. It's served by 2 FBOs, Atlantic Aviation and Sheltair. These are good operators, but the facility is operating at capacity. Atlantic's site at Orlando Executive sits on a 55-acre leasehold and explicitly maxes out at aircraft up to the G650. Meaning the very top of the fleet, the G700 and Global 7500, require special handling and push the facility to its limits. Orlando Sanford International, about 27 miles northeast of downtown, provides overflow capacity. Million Air and Constant Aviation operate there. Kissimmee Gateway, a former World War II military airfield southwest of Orlando, is undergoing the most significant expansion in the region. Ranger Jet Center is adding 140,000 square feet of hangars and an extraordinary 700,000 square feet of ramp and apron parking. That is a massive project, and it speaks directly to the scale of unmet demand in the market. And yet, and this is the important caveat, even when that project is fully realized, industry observers widely expect it to be absorbed rapidly given the rate of fleet growth and corporate activity in Central Florida. Business Jet Traveler put it plainly in their Orlando market analysis, and I'm going to quote it here. Corporate hangar space is at a premium all over Florida, but especially in the Orlando area. That's not our characterization. That's an independent trade publication that covers the business jet industry, reporting on what operators are experiencing on the ground. The premium on hangar space is real, it's documented, and it's getting more pronounced as the fleet grows. For investors, Orlando offers a few characteristics that make it particularly attractive alongside DFW. First, it's in Florida, which has no income tax and one of the most business-friendly regulatory environments in the country. Second, the development opportunity at secondary airports like Kissimmee and Sanford is more accessible than at most supply-constrained general aviation airports, where every square foot of developable land has spoken for. Third, the demand base is genuinely diversified across multiple economic sectors that don't move together, which provides a form of natural hedging that single industry markets can't afford. When you pair Orlando with DFW as a dual market strategy, you get geographic diversification, economic sector diversification, and complementary risk profiles, all within the same aviation infrastructure thesis. That's the combination we're building toward. We'll talk about the strategy in detail in later episodes. Let's first keep building on the foundation.